And these beams have been busting my head. Hey everybody, it's TR back with my biggest RV how-to project yet, and that's replacing the rubber roof of my 40-foot Class A motorhome. This is episode 3, and in this episode we finally get the roof stretched out and get it glued down, and we'll get started on reinstalling some of the roof equipment, like putting in the exhaust vent for the kitchen, the microwave, and then also the bathroom. Don't forget, there is a summary video coming up at the end of this series of all 4 of these videos edited down significantly into one video for background about why I'm doing this project and for the removal of the roof equipment. Getting started removing the sheathing, you can check out episode 1. And in episode 2, we continue with the sheathing, locating vents, cutting out openings, and so on and so forth. So if you want to catch those 2 episodes, I've got them linked in the description below, so check them out there. So we're picking this up on day 6. I got a little bit of final prep left to do. I've got to go back and sand out some of the spots I patched with the acrylic, and then also kind of sand the edges and seams a little bit, just trying to knock off all the high spots. Then we're going to get the roof laid out and get the die-core tape installed, so stick around. Here we go. Well, it's day 6 and the rubber roof goes on today. Got all the sheathing taken care of over the last couple days. Just a little bit of sanding to do on some spots that I patched, and I'm going to work on some of this tin. Feeling good about where I'm at. I think we've got a pretty good deck here. Got some spots here I'm going to go back and sand out. Had a couple knots pop out as I was putting the sheathing down, so I filled those in with some acrylic filler. And then hopefully we'll be getting that rubber on here within the next couple hours. So let's get going with that. In this time lapse, you're seeing me sanding on the seams and beveling the edges a little better. Also doing some patchwork with the acrylic patch, and just basically getting ready to lay the roof out. A broom worked extremely well to help smooth the seams and bubbles and ripples out of it. So the roof is down. I've got the rubber on the roof now. I've got it stretched out here a little bit, just kind of letting it relax. It's got fold lines and stuff in it, and it looks like, you know, they'll probably come right out when you glue it down. But I'm going to give it a couple hours to sort of relax and just kind of settle in. Besides, I need a break. It's hot. Got some cleanup to do on the kitchen fantastic vent. Also the range hood vent, and a couple other things that just need to be cleaned up and prepared for reinstallation. So I'm going to go take care of those. Then in a couple hours here we'll get this thing glued down. So stick around. We're almost done, thankfully. Whew. Okay, it's late on day 6 and I'm about ready to put this rubber down. I tried to let it relax a little bit, but I still got all these folds, the creases from the folds, and I'm not sure what to do about that. So I'm kind of in a conundrum right now. So I've got the roof pulled back a little bit so I can put down the die-core tape, but the first thing I'm going to do is kind of work out the detail here and see how this is all going to go together. Well, quite the mess. It's pretty hot up here. I'm sweating. I took my hat off. Maybe I'd get a little bit of cool air up here. I'm on the final stages of doing these seams. Get it cut right. Well, I'm thinking I might be in trouble here. I don't know if I have enough die-core tape. I think I have a roll downstairs, so I'm going to go see if I can dig that up. But I'm not going to glue this down tonight. I'm going to let it set overnight and see if these fold marks will relax a little more. So that's probably going to do it for today. Besides, it's already 7:15, so it's definitely time to knock off. Anyway, we're in the home stretch, and so stick around because we should be done probably tomorrow. Hey, it's day 7 and this rubber roof is going down, so let's get to it. So this pretty much went as I expected, but I did learn a lesson here. Rather than folding this roof back, I should have rolled it up. It would have been much easier to reapply. I used the 901BA die-core bonding adhesive. I applied it at about 160 square feet to the gallon. I used a total of 1.5 gallons of the adhesive on the entire roof. So here you can see I'm rolling it out with a low nap roller, and now I'm struggling and fighting to get that roof reinstalled because I didn't roll it up. Using a broom here to rough out most of the large bubbles and wrinkles. And then as I needed to, I went around on my hands and knees with my hands and I worked the bubbles to the vents. I rolled the back half up and that went a lot easier. I didn't have nearly as many bubbles or didn't have to fight it quite as much to get it down and get it smoothed out. So I got the roof down. It's time to put the terminating bars on. So here I am working on the terminating bars, and what you see me doing there is applying the butyl tape to the back of the termination bar. It worked out a lot easier that way. So I'm installing the butyl tape, the termination bar, and the fasteners in this step. I started working from the middle and then went out to the ends and pinned things down, and then I put a screw about every 1.5 to 2 inches. Well, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tired. I got the roof down, the termination strips are all in place. Now it's time to start reinstalling roof accessories like the AC and some of the vents and skylight cover and whatnot. So it's turning out really nice. I'm really happy with the job. I think it's going to be a lot better situation than what I had before. All right, let's go back to work. Oh, as I moan and groan and let's do the skylight. What do you say? A sharp utility knife is really handy here. What you do is you just cut an X to the size of the opening that you need, and then go back and trim off the flaps. Alright, first things first, let's solar down here. This is the ground for my solar. Since the entire RV has an aluminum frame and the frame is grounded, I'm just going to go ahead and ground my solar panels to the frame. It'll be more than adequate. Wish I had a lug, but I don't. Alrighty then. Alright, let's give that a little while to set up and move on to the next one. I do intend to replace this vent. It's something I didn't realize I was going to need, or I would have ordered it from the factory. Alright, let's do the kitchen vent. So just like the other vents, you just cut the corners, make yourself an X to the center of the opening. In my case, again, I'm trimming the flaps off. It was not too practical to try to glue it or attach it in some way to the aluminum framing. Take the die-core tape off the fan here and then set it in the hole. I did make a mistake in this, and I should have gone to the kitchen, this is the kitchen vent, and made sure that the vent was square in the hole. It was a little out of square. You can't really see it in the kitchen because there's a flange that covers it up, but I noticed it when I was putting the flange in. Here I'm kind of screwing into the aluminum framing, and so I need to crank up the power on the drill so I can get that self-tapper to go through the aluminum. Oh. Strip that right out. I'm not going to put the finish covers on because I've got to put sealant around all these edges, and so I want to be able to get in and touch up all the screw heads and everything. So those two are done. Let's go do the bathroom. Ow! And these beams have been busting my head. I'm saving the front pieces for last. I got the air horns, solar panel for the chassis battery maintainer, and then I've got 2 antennas to go in, plus the TV antenna. But I'm leaving that open because I got to get the AC units in here. So I think I need to prep for the AC units. So that's it for episode 3. We got the rubber roof glued down. We've got the terminating strips on, die-core tape installed. We've reinstalled the kitchen and bath vents and done some other vent work. But there's still a little bit of equipment left to install, which we're going to pick up in episode 4. So in episode 4, we're going to finish installing the AC units, doing the sealing with the die-core lap sealant on all of our terminating strips and the flanges of all of the penetrations into the roof. And then I'll give you a little preview of installing the solar panels. So stick around for that. To make sure you don't miss those, be sure and subscribe. Got a lot of great RV how-to videos already on my channel, and still many more to come. And of course, if you have questions or comments, don't hesitate to ask them below. I really do love interacting with you, my audience, so if you have a question or something wasn't clear, just ask a question below. I'll try to give you more detail or answer it as soon as I reasonably can. But it's about time to go. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Until we get together again, peace.